glad you're here. We're going to go ahead and start on time, and I'm hoping a few more people will join us. I think all of you know me, and I know you. I'm Joanne McKenzie, and I chair the Food Committee. We are very privileged tonight to have Margaret, Cathy, and Cathy is the last name. It's not a Jim Bob. And Margaret is with Texas A&M AgriLIFE Extension Service. At the end of your handout, I think you've been told there's a one-page survey. If after the presentation you'll give Margaret an A+ and turn it in, that would be great. And we'll have Q&A at the end, and this is really your time to ask what you want to know as well as listen to what Margaret thinks we should know.
Good evening, everyone. As she said, my name is Margaret, and my last name is Cathy. Throughout school, I was always called the Cathy kid because my mom was a teacher in high school, and in my high school. So I was always called the Cathy kid. So you can either call me Margaret or you can call me Cathy. I will answer to both of them. I've been with Texas AgriLIFE. I am a master wellness volunteer. I am not, please take note, I am not a nutritionist. So if you've got a nutrition question, please don't ask it. You can ask it and I will find out what the answer is, but I'm probably not going to know the answer to a nutrition question. As I said, I am a volunteer, and I've been doing this for presenting plans like this probably 8 years, and I do it quite frequently outside of here. My story is about 25 years ago, I was being elected a president of an organization, and I knew I was going to have to get up and talk in front of people, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. So I joined Toastmasters, and now they can't get me off the stage. So I always volunteer. Whenever there's a presentation that needs to be done, I'm always volunteering, going, oh, pick me, I'll do it. So today, we are going to talk about Better Your Days, the Mediterranean Way. So welcome to today's presentation. You may have heard of the Mediterranean diet, or as I will be calling it, the Mediterranean style eating pattern. This is not a prescriptive diet, rather it is an eating and lifestyle approach that is shown to potentially reduce risk for several diet-related chronic diseases. So before we begin, has anyone heard of the Mediterranean diet, Mediterranean style? Oh, yay! Oh, yay, that is really good. So what do you know about it? Tell me something.
It's healthy.
It's healthy, okay.
A lot of fruits and vegetables.
Say again?
A lot of fruits and vegetables.
Lots of fruits and vegetables. Anybody else? Okay, remember, it's not just a diet, it is a lifestyle. Today we'll be discussing what this eating pattern is, why it is recommended for chronic disease prevention, and how you can implement this eating pattern into your life. By the end of the session today, our goal is that you will be able to compare the Mediterranean style eating pattern to the typical American diet, list health benefits associated with this eating pattern, explain food choices consistent with this eating pattern, and describe other lifestyle behaviors that contribute to the health benefits of this approach. But first, let's talk about where the Mediterranean is. Okay, who knows? Where? What countries are in the Mediterranean? Shout it out. Italy, Spain, Algeria, Turkey. All right. The countries in the Mediterranean region include Spain, Greece, Italy, and France. These countries all have similarities when it comes to their eating and lifestyle patterns, but they also vary some country to country depending on readily available foods. Because of this, you may see some countries in this Mediterranean region use less or more of a specific food. However, this entire region shares the same core concepts of this lifestyle approach. Ooh, why is that? That doesn't look good. Mediterranean-style eating pattern involves an eating lifestyle includes social and cultural elements. The enjoyment of food preparation and eating with others are celebrated. Physical activity is an important element, as is social engagement. Now that last sentence, physical activity is an important element, as is social engagement. So remember that. A Mediterranean-style eating pattern is for healthy adults and is not intended to treat disease. Individuals with a diagnosis of diabetes or are recovering from cardiovascular events need to be under the care of a physician and possibly a registered dietitian as well. Overall, this eating pattern highlights consumption of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, olive oil, nuts, seeds, plant proteins, fish, and dairy products. While it encourages increased consumption of these foods, the great thing about this eating pattern is that it does not exclude any food or food group. Now that's the part I like the most. It does not exclude any food or food group. However, it does encourage intake to be lower in sweets or added sugars. Now that's my problem. I'm a sweetaholic. Processed foods, salt, and saturated fats. Saturated fats are fats that are solid at room temperature, which include butter, lard, coconut oil, palm oil, and even bacon. Who can live without bacon, really? This dietary eating pattern emphasizes foods rich in fiber, vitamins, minerals, omega-3 fatty acids, as well as lean forms of protein. Meals are typically planned around fruits and vegetables and a whole grain while promoting variety, seasonality, and availability. This eating pattern also includes wine in moderation if desired. Let's take a closer look at these recommendations. This is the Mediterranean Diet Food Pyramid. It shows the basics of this eating pattern as well as other lifestyle behaviors. As you can see, the pyramid organizes types of foods by stating how many servings a person is recommended to consume at each meal, each day, and on a weekly basis. While it encourages increased consumption of certain foods, every person's needs vary. Some things listed may not be available or feasible to some, but there are several aspects of this eating pattern that many are able to incorporate into their lives. Remember, this is a lifestyle approach, not a prescriptive diet, which is why it notes that serving size is based on frugality or local habits. So for today's lesson, we will be using my plate to help us understand how to build a plate and what portion sizes may look like. But before we discuss my plate, let's look at the other lifestyle factors of this approach. The pyramid has several lifestyle behaviors on the bottom of the pyramid that contribute considerably to the health benefits of this approach. Once again, the Mediterranean-style eating pattern is not a diet. It is a lifestyle. While the eating pattern is often discussed the most, the other aspects of this approach are just as important. Physical activity has shown to reduce risk for several chronic diseases, including diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, obesity, and heart disease. The CDC and American Heart Association both currently recommend that adults do 150 minutes, that's 2.5 hours, of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week, anything that increases the heart rate, and 2 days per week that include muscle strengthening activities like push-ups, squats, weights, resistance training. All right, how many of y'all get to the gym 2 or 3 times a week? Everybody's hand should be up. Hydration is also a major part of this eating pattern that is highlighted in the Mediterranean food pyramid. Carrying a water bottle with you and drinking water throughout the day is recommended. Here's mine. Where's yours? Oh, there's one. One? Really? One? Y'all should be carrying water bottles all the time. And I know you have to go to the bathroom a lot more, but you need to. Research has also discussed the importance of including proper portion sizes when following this type of eating pattern. And when it talks about portion sizes, here in Texas, if it's not filling up the whole plate, it's not enough. But it's technically too much, and you all know that. Some foods highlighted in the Mediterranean-style eating pattern are they're dense, calorie dense. So while they are important to include, it is best to utilize my plate to understand proper portion size. Another important aspect of the Mediterranean-style eating pattern is a welcoming social environment. Research indicates that a social environment of family meals and culinary activities like cooking with others contribute to the overall effectiveness of this approach. Now let me ask you, I know most of you probably go to the dining room and eat, but before you came here, I'm assuming that most of you cooked. Yes. Oh, I see lots of no's. Come on, y'all. Cooking is fun, especially if you do it with your family. Now, I know I heard some wives going, I won't let my husband in the kitchen. There's no way. Or vice versa. Cooking together it brings you close. It really does. I can guarantee it. And then I pull you apart too, because some people are messy, some people aren't. And you want it done in a particular way. But cooking together is a great social environment. Sleep or rest is another staple in this lifestyle approach. Many studies have shown that a nap in the afternoon is a common practice in this region. Now, what did I just tell you, Arlene? She goes, I don't nap. I said, you need to nap. That's part of the lifestyle of the Mediterranean. Lastly, sustainability is a strong factor. Countries in the Mediterranean prioritize local, fresh, seasonal, traditional, and eco-friendly foods. This can look different country to country, as discussed earlier, but taking this into account will help promote variety as well as cost effectiveness. According to the dietary guidelines for Americans, now this is really shocking, 75% of Americans have eating patterns low in fruits, vegetables, and dairy. 63% exceed the recommended intake for added sugars. 77% exceed the recommended intake for saturated fats. Bye-bye bacon. 90% exceed the chronic disease risk reduction limits for sodium. I am such a saltaholic. I am definitely in that 90%. This shows that the traditional American diet tends to be lower in fruits and veggies and high in saturated fat, sugar, and salt. And the Mediterranean eating pattern is the opposite. This demonstrates why the Mediterranean-style eating pattern is continually one of the top dietary approaches recommended by the American Heart Association, as well as many other organizations. The reason the Mediterranean-style eating pattern is often recommended is due to the results of several research studies. It is interesting to note that the results of these research studies have consistently supported the health benefits associated with the Mediterranean-style eating plan. As a result of this evidence-based research, a Mediterranean eating pattern is one of 3 diets recommended by the dietary guidelines for Americans. The other 2 recommended eating patterns are My Plate and the DASH diet, or Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. This lifestyle approach has shown to potentially prevent several chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, cancers, and hypertension, while also promoting healthy aging. Newer research is also indicating that this type of diet may help in improving brain function and prevent cognitive decline. Identifying the exact constituent and mechanism associated with a specific health benefit is complex. Possible explanations may relate to components found in foods such as monounsaturated fats and omega-3 fatty acids, and or the combination of the eating pattern and general lifestyle factors. While we may not be able to tease out individual causes and effects, adoption of a Mediterranean-style eating pattern and its associated lifestyle is widely recognized as healthful. In the state of Texas, the top causes of death in 2019 were diseases of the heart, cancer, accidents, chronic lower respiratory diseases, cerebrovascular diseases, say that 3 times fast, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, chronic liver disease and cirrhosis, nephrotic syndrome, and septicemia. So 4 out of the top 10 causes are conditions that have shown to possibly benefit from following a Mediterranean-style eating pattern. This tells us that many Texas residents may benefit from this lifestyle approach. Now we know what the Mediterranean-style eating pattern is and why it is recommended, but how can we implement this into our lives? Here's a list of potential ways that you can choose to implement the Mediterranean food practices. We're going to talk about some of these in more detail, but remember the Mediterranean food pyramid embodies a lifestyle approach. So adequate rest, physical activity, and your social environment are also important to consider when implementing some of these behaviors. Now, how difficult do you think adopting a Mediterranean-style eating pattern would be for you and your family? On a scale 1 to 10, how hard do you think it would be to incorporate it?
I would rate it as a 1, and in my case, because my wife enforces it pretty much 100% of the time. So in my case, it's no problem.
Wouldn't that be a 10, not a 1? I mean, 10 would be, right? One would be the best. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it backwards. Okay, so 1. Well,
Whatever the string is, I'm at it.
you managed to sneak in something every now and then?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you. Are you a saltaholic or are you a sweetaholic?
Sweetaholic.
I'm a sweetaholic. Well, I'm a salt and sweetaholic. All right. Anybody else got a number? Anybody?
Is 10 the best?
Pardon me?
Is 10 the best you're thinking of?
No, 1 would be the best. How hard would it be? Would it be?
10 would be the hardest.
The hardest would be 10.
Oh, okay.
And the easiest would be 1. And that's why he picked 1. Anybody got a number? How hard do you think it would be hard? Is it
Maybe sometime we'll do 7 because you have to really
7?
plan ahead.
You do have to plan ahead. You really do. Do any of you really cook, like in your home? Okay, good. So do you go grocery shopping for your things? I know they do. I know they feed you here, and that's why I was asking, because I didn't think a whole lot of you cooked in your home. I cook constantly. I cook probably 5 out of 7 days. So I love to cook. Yes.
Because of the food, the choices that we have, I can see where we have big breakfast, strong American food leading. But when you look at the menu, I was quite shocked to see how close it was to the Mediterranean diet.
Well, that's good though. It is. She was saying that she sees it, the menu that you're in the rest or the dining hall is close to the Mediterranean, the choices, that's fabulous. I mean, you know, do y'all agree? You don't agree? Okay, well, you're
You have
entitled to your
choices.
opinions.
We have
Um,
3 restaurants.
Right, okay, 3 restaurants, and so,
Varied menus.
Okay.
So
okay,
there are choices.
absolutely. What I'm trying to instill in you is make these kinds of choices, okay? All right, so let's see. Well, let's talk about fill half your plate with vegetables and fruits. That's been around for hundreds of years. Well, maybe not hundreds. Select whole grain foods, increase plant protein, eat fish and seafood at least twice a week. I can tell you I probably eat fish 5 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week, because I prefer fish over anything. I really do. Enjoy yogurt and cheese as dairy choices. Switch to olive oil for cooking and for salad dressings. Limit sweets, saturated fats, salt, and processed foods. How many of y'all eat bakery goods from like H-E-B? Anybody? Good answer. Drink water, y'all. You've got to have your water bottle with you all the time. Carry it with you. Wine in moderation if desired. Yes. Season foods with spices and herbs, not salt. Oh.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what that is. There is abundance of research supporting the health properties of fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, many people do not eat the amount and variety of fruits and vegetables needed to benefit from these health properties. So try to include more fruits and vegetables in your daily eating pattern. Choose fruits and vegetables that are in season and local when possible. Here is my tip for eating more fruits and vegetables. Do most of you like eat breakfast, like a full breakfast, like eggs and, okay? I've been doing this for many, many years, and it gets me going. I drink a smoothie every morning. I make a smoothie with my little blender. It has its own little top for my smoothie. I have a 1.5 cups of spinach, 3/4 of a cup of frozen fruit, 1 scoop of Greek yogurt, 0 fat, or no fat, skim milk, cup of skim milk. I put cinnamon, I put my vitamins in there, I put my lovely prunes that everyone loves. Let's see, what else do I put in there? I have to build it. Okay. But that gives me a 1.5 cups of vegetables in the morning, and then almost a cup of fruit in the morning, and I drink it. That is literally my breakfast, and it keeps me going until 10 o'clock, 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning. It's an easy way to get some fruits and vegetables in you, all right? However, these sources have other types of fats called omega-3 and 6 fatty acids. Wait, I'm in the wrong one, my bad. Fresh, frozen, dried, and canned fruits and vegetables can all be incorporated. Now, if someone says that you should only have fresh fruits, wrong answer. Frozen vegetables and fruits are always picked at the peak of their season. So once they're frozen, they're still got the peak of that fruit. So frozen fruit and frozen vegetables are very good for you. Now, fresh ones are a little bit better, but the frozen ones are almost as good. Depending on the time of year, buying frozen or canned can be a more cost-effective option when sacrificing the nutritional value of the food. And once again, if you are picking a canned food, which I know that most of y'all don't go grocery shopping, but if you're picking a canned fruit or vegetable, read the label. Make sure it is packed in its own juices and there's no added sugar or added sodium in it. All right. The Mediterranean eating pattern includes protein from several sources, but it emphasizes protein from fish, seafood, as well as other plant proteins. These are leaner options, meaning they have less saturated fat. However, these sources have other types of fats called omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, sometimes called healthy fats. Research has shown that these benefit heart health, cognition, healthy aging, and more, which is why these protein sources are recommended to be eaten more frequently over other options. And as I said earlier, I typically have fish 4 to 5 times a week. The Mediterranean style eating pattern does not exclude other protein sources like red or processed meats. It just encourages a higher consumption of these leaner choices. So you don't have to cut steak or barbecue from your diet entirely, but maybe there are times during the week that you can swap the steak for a serving of fish or shrimp, or choose grilled chicken instead of brisket. Small changes like these can have a great impact. Does anyone know what the difference between a refined grain and a whole grain is? Come on, somebody knows. No? Okay, well, I had to read about it too. A whole grain just means that it contains the whole grain. I mean, that's kind of easy to remember. There are 3 parts to a grain: the germ, endosperm, and starch. Often in processing the germ, endosperm gets removed and the product only utilizes the starch from that grain. The germ and endosperm have several nutritional benefits, so when they are removed, the food becomes less nutrient dense. Whole grains include all parts of the grain, and therefore have more nutrients and health benefits, which is why they are typically recommended over refined grains. So here we have several whole grain options listed. Grains are also high in fiber, so they help us stay fuller longer, and fiber also works to keep your heart healthy. How many of y'all like quinoa? Oh, good answer. Very good. How many of y'all have tried, bulgur? Do you like it?
What did you say?
Bulgur, B-U-L-G-U-R. Yeah, I can take it a bit. Corn grits? How about them corn grits? Come on. Y'all like grits, right? You live in Texas. You gotta like grits. Has anybody tried farro? Okay, it is, if y'all go grocery shopping and you want a new grain, get farro. It's really good. It's very tasty, very nutty. It's really, really good. Dairy foods are a great source of calcium and vitamin D, which both help to promote bone strength. Moderate amounts of dairy foods are included in a Mediterranean-style eating pattern. The Mediterranean food pyramid recommends 2 servings of low-fat dairy a day, while my plate recommends 3 servings of calcium-rich dairy foods per day. If a Mediterranean-style eating plan is followed as described, the amount of calcium from my plate's 3rd dairy serving could be made up with vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Traditionally, dairy foods associated with Mediterranean-style eating plan are fermented products, such as yogurts and cheese. Cream cheese, sour cream, and butter are fat and not a dairy source of calcium. That's just wrong. Therefore, they aren't considered dairy foods. Who thought? Who would have known? Olive oil is one of the major components of the Mediterranean region. In this eating pattern, olive oil is the main source of fat. Research has shown time and time again that the nutritional components of olive oil are extremely beneficial to overall health. I can tell you that I started using olive oil to cook probably maybe 10 years ago. And I found this great place called Coyle. It's on the fairly non-cheap side, but it has wonderful olive oil. The one kind of olive oil that I love the most is it's called butter olive oil. It's butter flavored olive oil. So if you ever need an olive oil to put on your popcorn or any other thing that you roast or bake, I highly recommend it because it tastes just like melted butter, but it's not. It's good fat. It's the olive oil. Olive oil is a great way to add flavors to a dish while also adding nutritional value. It is high in monounsaturated fats, antioxidants, and vitamin E. And these nutritional properties provide benefits for the immune system and inflammatory responses. So what's the difference between regular olive oil and extra virgin olive oil? Anybody know?
Extra virgin is better.
Extra virgin is definitely better. The differences between extra virgin olive oil and olive oil are related to the level of processing. Compared to plain olive oil, extra virgin olive oil is more expensive, less processed, less acidic, and better tasting, and used for salad dressings and bread dipping when flavor is especially important. Because extra virgin olive oil has got the best flavor. It is first pressed, and it's amazing. So if you're looking to save money, you can cook with less expensive olive oil, but use the extra virgin olive oil for salads and dipping bread. Water should be the main beverage choice. And as I showed you right here, I do have my water bottle, but it's kind of colored red. I have never enjoyed drinking just plain old water. I didn't grow up that way. I drank milk my whole life. And many years ago, I don't do it anymore, I used to run. And the one thing they told us is that you've always got to have a water bottle with you and stop drinking tea. And I'm like, great. At least it wasn't coffee. But I keep my water bottle with me, and I always put some kind of squeeze something in it, zero sugar, some kind of, mine is hibiscus that I use, and it's wonderful. I probably drink 4 of these a day. All because it's got hibiscus in it. If it had plain old water, I wouldn't be drinking anything. I've never liked water. In the Mediterranean region, herbal teas are often highlighted. This includes green tea, chamomile, oolong, black, etc. Emerging research on tea indicates that drinking tea may lower the risk for some cancers, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, and neurodegenerative disease. How many of y'all drink tea? Okay, how many of y'all drink tea instead of coffee? Okay, how many of y'all drink coffee? Oh yeah. Okay, switch over to tea. Come on, switch over to tea. I tell you what, black tea and regular caffeinated coffee have the same amount of caffeine. So black tea will give you that boost in the morning. However, tea is also a source of caffeine, which should be limited to about 400 milligrams per day or less by most healthy adults, which is 6 cups of black tea and 8 to 10 cups of green tea. That's a lot. While tea is often consumed more in the Mediterranean region than coffee, coffee can still be a part of this lifestyle pattern. 1 cup of coffee typically has around 100 milligrams of caffeine. 1 cup of black tea typically has around 50 milligrams of caffeine. Of course, you can always go with decaffeinated tea or coffee. Now, as I just said, coffee has 100 milligrams and 50 milligrams. Now, that's according to this study. The study that I really have looked at is that it is almost the same. If you drink a pure black, like a Ceylon tea, it's got a lot of caffeine in it. It is also important to note that in this eating pattern, they typically do not add sugar or other additives to these beverages, but may sometimes add milk. How many of y'all put sugar in your tea? Because I'm a sugarholic. Good for y'all. The Mediterranean style eating pattern does include wine if desired. However, this is a personal decision that should be based on you individually. It is possible to adhere to a Mediterranean eating pattern and not consume alcohol. However, if you choose to include wine in moderation, it's important to note that moderation is defined as 1 glass of wine per day for women and no more than 2 glasses of wine per day for men. A glass of wine is 5 ounces, so about a half a cup. It is possible to adhere to Mediterranean eating. Research has shown that compounds in the wine, mostly red wine, may provide health benefits in prevention of certain chronic diseases. This compound is called resveratrol. However, you can get these same benefits from eating whole grapes, so drinking wine is not necessary. I never really could eat grapes just to replace my wine. How many of y'all want to replace grapes with wine? Not me. No, thank you. I'll take my wine. Consuming alcohol can have its downside. For example, alcohol consumption can increase the risk for falls, accidents, and addiction. Some research has even shown it may increase risk for certain cancers. So it is important to decide what is best for you. Here's the list of staple food items that you can keep your kitchen stocked with to make preparing Mediterranean meals easy. So if you are preparing and you're going to go to the grocery store, I know it's just a few of you, but always get your fresh, frozen, canned vegetables and fruits, your canned or dry beans, peas, lentils, nuts and seeds. How many of you use nuts and seeds as a snack? Oh, good answer, good hands. Congratulations. Frozen and or canned fish and seafood. I'm sorry, canned fish. I can't see that, but okay.
Tuna fish salad.
Yeah, tuna fish, yeah. Extra virgin olive oil and or olive oil. Vinegar, red wine, and balsamic. Plain and Greek yogurts. Anybody eat yogurt? Oh, Greek? Be sure it's Greek and no fat. Eggs, spices, herbs, and seasoning blends. Following a Mediterranean eating pattern does not mean you have to give up some of your favorites. There are many famous Texas dishes that fit within this eating pattern as is. And this is for you. Keep favorite elements of your local and cultural cuisine that are consistent with a Mediterranean-style eating pattern. For example, emphasize fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and fish and seafood. This approach doesn't restrict any foods, so you want to continue to enjoy the foods you love while utilizing some of your seasonal local foods. Okay, so what other favorite foods of yours do you think will fit into this eating pattern? That's got, oh man, it's over. Let's see, what is that? I don't know what that says.
It says favorites.
Favorites. Guacamole. Anybody love guacamole? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Whole beans. Oh yeah. Whole grain and corn tortillas. Okay, if you got a choice, what do you choose? Corn or flour? Good answer, y'all. Citrus or fruit salad, vegetables, seafood, and chicken fajitas or enchiladas. So when you get that enchilada, make it chicken. Or you don't want to do cheese because cheese is way high calorie. Bean or chicken chili, corn grits, and crawfish. We've discussed what kind of foods to include, but how can you cook them? Here are a few popular cooking methods that are utilized. The focus is to include cooking methods that require less added saturated fats. Try grilling, steaming, roasting, baking, and sauteing over frying. Now, I told you earlier that I love to cook, and I really do. I cook probably 4 to 5 times a week. My favorite thing to do is just take a slab of fish, whatever fish is in the market or frozen, and put either some panko breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, and just put it on the top and put it in the oven and roast it for 10, 15 minutes. It's very, very, very low fat and very low calorie. I also will take vegetables and broccoli, green beans, red onions, some potatoes, very few, cauliflower, zucchini. All I do is slice them, put them on a sheet pan, put a little olive oil on them, put a little bit, I put too much salt, and put them in the oven and roast them for 20 minutes. They're awesome. They're awesome roasted vegetables. And I hope the menus that y'all have, the dining rooms that y'all have, that they do roast their vegetables instead of, I mean, there's nothing, I love roasted okra, but don't be eating the fried okra, y'all. When cooking with oil, try to use olive oil instead of saturated fats like butter. But butter tastes so good, but that butter olive oil is the best. This eating pattern uses herbs and spices to season the dish rather than salt. Using these herbs can really enhance the flavor of the dish. Now let's take what we learned today and practice creating a plate following the Mediterranean eating pattern. Try creating a Mediterranean plate that is something that you would eat at home. Following my plate is helpful when trying to assemble a plate. Focus on making half your plate fruits and vegetables and build from there. So, what would you put on your plate? If you're in the restaurant, what are you going to put on your plate?
Vegetables and fruit.
Vegetables and fruit. Okay, so what do you normally get in the dining room?
We gotta make your own bowl at the bistro.
Yes.
Make your own bowl. Oh, that sounds good.
Salads or with salads and grains, or you can do it with vegetables.
So you can make it with salad. You can make a salad bowl, or you can make it like a grain bowl or a vegetable bowl. Oh, that's great.
Quinoa or any-
Yes, excellent, excellent. Okay, what else are you gonna put on your plate? What's gonna be your protein?
Well, the legumes.
Quinoa,
Yeah.
black beans are really good as your protein, but also your protein can be fish, number one, okay? Chicken, number two, beef occasionally, pork occasionally, but you really wanna focus on fish and a little bit of chicken, okay? As mentioned earlier, eating Mediterranean involves an eating lifestyle that includes social and cultural elements. Several health benefits are associated with Mediterranean-style eating pattern, including a longer life, less cardiovascular disease, and a potential reduced risk for diabetes, cancer, and cognitive impairment. Compared to the typical U.S. eating pattern, a Mediterranean-style eating pattern has more olive oil, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, fish, and seafood. Important components of Mediterranean lifestyle are enjoyment of food preparation and eating with others. The lifestyle includes daily physical activity and social engagement. The health benefits associated with Mediterranean-style eating pattern may be in part due to these social and cultural aspects. So when y'all eat in the dining room, you're obviously eating with other people, right? Do y'all walk around and talk to other people or see what they're eating or have conversations? Okay, well, that's a great social activity. You're around food. Whenever I have people over to my house, where do we usually end up? In the kitchen. I don't know why. My kitchen is not that big. And it's like, people, go in the living room, please, please. But everyone ends up in the kitchen. Why? Because food is love. But you do, this lifestyle approach and its meaning other lifestyle factors are just as important. The physical activity, y'all need to be in the gym 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times, 4 or 5 times every week. Hydration, y'all start having those water bottles with you all the time. Social environment, get up there and, well, did everybody come to the Cinco de Mayo thing today? Okay, that's social interaction. That is part of the lifestyle. And sleep. All right, how many of y'all are getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. Try to get that much. You really do need it. So you may be wondering, what do I do now? Don't get overwhelmed. Start making some small changes to jumpstart your health. This looks different for everyone, but try to find 1 to 2 things from this lifestyle approach that you would like to start implementing and set a goal today. All right, so start simple. Continue to eat the foods you like. Just make minor adjustments. Small changes can have a large impact. Can any of you think of one thing that you're going to do, that you're going to change, that's more healthy? Anybody? Eat, what was that?
Blueberries.
Eat blueberries? Very good. Eat more blueberries. That's a good thing. Anybody else changing any kind of thing in your food intake? Okay. Choose 1 or 2 small components to discuss today to include into your lifestyle. Okay. What are you gonna change anything about your lifestyle? All right. Take action now to improve your health. Goal setting is always a great place to start. I know that when I have a goal, I have to write it down, and then I put it on the refrigerator, and it reminds me, okay, that's my goal. Now how am I going to reach it? So what is one aspect of this approach that you would like to put into practice? Anybody? Come on, this is participatory. Come on. Let me hear you. Anybody? That's all right. That's all I've got today. I really thank y'all for being here and listening to me. There is a survey on the very back. I would so appreciate it if you gave me an A++++. I'm joking. Be sure and fill out the survey, and you can either leave it on your chair or you can drop it at the table at the back. But thank y'all for coming, and I'll actually be back in 2 weeks, but I can't remember the subject. But I'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank y'all.